Good morning. This is Manny Magoo. I hope everyone's having a great weekend. Today is Monday, February the 15th, President's Day. I hope everyone's enjoying the day off. I didn't post my watch list yesterday, but I'm doing it today. And I hope everyone grabs a pen and paper. They're going to want to jot down some notes for yourselves. I want to dive right into this, folks. I've got 7 stocks on my watch list. Starting off with the first one is Citigroup. Okay, so symbol C, company Citigroup. For those of you that are new to the channel, this is for entertainment purposes only. By all means, grab a phone, contact your financial advisors, ask them any questions you want. I am not a financial advisor. I've been doing this for over 20 years, but at the same time, I'm not here to give you financial advice. I'm just here to show you and explain to you how I trade. I keep it very, very simple. I don't complicate things, but I really teach people about support and resistance because I believe that it's probably the greatest indicator out there. It's not a lagging indicator, and it's important that you all know. Okay, so starting off with the first stock, Citigroup. Okay, this is a monthly chart, folks, on Citigroup. And for those of you that are new, this is what I always do. If you take a look at the previous month, which is this one here, the big red candle, the high is $69.43. The low is $57.69. What I do is I always draw my high and low of the previous month, and I leave it on there for the duration of the new month, which is February. I never take those lines off, okay? Monthly candles hold a lot of weight. They hold a lot more weight than a weekly candle. A weekly candle holds a lot more weight than a daily candle. Okay, so the highs of each and the lows of each candle, especially on monthly, are major areas of resistance and support. Okay, then I go to my weekly, and as you can see here, this was last week's candle on Citigroup. The high is 64.02, the low is 61.93. Okay, now let's go to a daily chart. This is a daily chart. As you can see here, folks, tremendous amount of consolidation last week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of consolidation. And it's holding this area. As a matter of fact, it also, if you take a look, it did fill the gap to the downside, so we're safe on there. And what I'm watching really is, I wanted to watch this candle here, which is the June 5th candle. The high there is 62.47. I wanted to see if Citigroup can break this area and start reversing its course and marching up. Okay. Again, I like Citigroup. If Citigroup breaks this area, 64.02, Manny Magoo will take the trade long. Now, mind you, folks, if it breaks 64.02, just don't fall asleep. Okay. You need to look for the other areas of resistance that are up ahead. Okay. So, but 64.02 then would become support if it does break. And just be careful. If the price comes back and breaks this 64.02, well, then again, it's no longer support, is it? So again, 64.02, that's resistance. 64.02 would become support. Now, I don't know if it's going to go up. I don't know if Citigroup's going to come back down and actually break 61.93, which is its last week's low support. It could. If Citigroup does break 61.93, 61.93 then becomes resistance. If I see it break back above 61.93, I'm going to take the trade as well. Okay? So Citigroup is first on my list. Second stock on my watch list, DAL. Delta Airlines. Similar chart to Citi, consolidated here. This is a daily chart, excuse me. But I'm looking for the break right here. I think if it breaks this area here, it's going to start marching up. Okay? Here's a weekly chart on it. As you can see, I've got a high of 43.94. I've got a low of 41.36. This was the previous week's candle. And if you zoom out, this is really the area that it has to break. It has to get above 43.76, this candle here. If it can get above 43.76, it should start marching up to the races. Last week it got to 43.94 before it did pull back, okay? So again, you know, you've got a monthly, previous month's high of 42.64. So again, I like it. I like to see Delta break this 43.94 area before taking the trade. Okay. Next stock on our watch list is Boeing, BA. I like Boeing. Also, Boeing, a lot of consolidation in this area. I think Boeing should start going. We'll see. Again, I've identified my weekly, previous week's high and low. Didn't move much last week, as you can see. The high in the week was 217.49. The low was 208.30. Right now it's standing at 210.98. Who knows? Maybe Boeing will like to break 208.30 again. Then 208.30 becomes resistance. And maybe a back inside. I love playing the back insides. Okay? I make tremendous money when I play the back inside. I like it actually better, it going back inside than breaking an area of resistance for the first time. Okay? I really like those back inside plays. So Boeing is third on my watch list. Next, Apple, AAPL. Okay? Here's the weekly. It's almost an inside week on Apple. The high is 137.88. The low was 133.69. Okay, so high of 137.88, low of 133.69 on Apple. Here's a daily. There you go. A lot of consolidation in this area. I'd like to see it break above this 137.88. Now, if it breaks above 137.88, just watch out. It's got to get above this failure here of 137.98 as well. So maybe even wait for the 137.98 break. Let's see here, 138.79. So yeah, as you can see, I'm going to highlight this. If you take a look, this is what a failure is. This is September 2nd, okay? This is the September 2nd candle. As you can see, Boeing just ran up until September the 2nd. It got to as high as 137.98, and it failed to go higher. It completely fell apart. And what did it do? It came back to support, okay? Then it started marching up again. But again, in order for Apple to continue its trend to the upside, we know that number one, it has to break 137.98. If it doesn't break 137.98, Apple goes absolutely nowhere. Okay? It has to break 137.98, which is here, and it definitely has to break here as well, the December 29th candle of 138.79. Okay? So keep that in mind, folks. I do have a line at 137.88. I will take it if Apple breaks 137.88, but also I do realize that I've got to contend with 138.79 because that is another failure that happened, which was on December 29th. Okay? So, Apple. Next on our watch list, we've got BABA, B-A-B-A. Okay? We've got BABA. So, if you want to take a look at BABA, I'm going to show you a weekly chart on BABA. Here's a weekly chart on BABA. All right? We have, right now, we've got, let's see, BABA at 274.26. That is last week's high on BABA, B-A-B-A. We've got a low of 261.82. Okay? Also, you've got a monthly here of 269. Let me take a look at this monthly chart. So here you go. Okay? We've got a high of $269 on the January month. We got to get above this 269 before we can keep going. Okay? So, let's take a look at the daily chart. Here's the daily chart. Tremendous amount of consolidation on BABA. I had BABA on my watch list a couple weeks ago, and I also had BABA on the watch list. I believe it was before they had earnings, and I don't trade before earnings. I usually wait for the earnings to be released. You never know what could happen. But I do like BABA. As a matter of fact, if BABA breaks 269, I'm going to take the trade. That was last month's high, 269. Okay, so again, if it breaks 269, we have to look at the next area of resistance. The next area of resistance is going to be this gap to the downside, which the high was 271.30. So 271.30 is going to be an area of resistance. And then we have to fill the gap. And, you know, I'm looking at 274.26. That's going to be another area of resistance. That was last week's high. But again, BABA is on my watch list. I like it, but I'll only play it if it breaks 269, knowing that 269 then will be my support. If BABA comes back inside, I get out. Okay? The key, folks, is you never know where a stock is going to go. Okay? You don't know if it's going to continue. You don't know if it's going to come down. The only thing I can do is make a probable guess that it will go up based on things that are in my favor. Okay? So again, I love playing the monthly breaks and I love playing the weekly breaks. I think they hold a lot of meat and potatoes and moves. But at the same time, they don't have to work. Okay? The stock market owes us absolutely nothing. What I do, though, the way I trade, is I identify the break to the penny. And if the break happens, great, I'm in the trade. But then I always am very careful when the break and if the stock pulls back. If it breaks the support, well, I'm out. I mean, there's no reason for me to stay in the trade. I can always get back in if it breaks back above. Okay? And that's pretty much the way I trade. I'm very disciplined in that. Okay, next stock on the watch list is NIO. N-I-O. I really like NIO. It did have a pullback. Some analyst on CNBC came out, and I don't know why she spoke bad about NIO. It makes absolutely no sense to me. But you know what, folks? If I were to listen to analysts over the last 20 plus years, I would completely be a broke man today. And I retired quite some time ago. I'm still young, and I'm doing very, very well. And believe me, not one analyst has ever made me money. So again, I take it with a really light grain of salt. But a lot of people listen to these analysts on CNBC and they make their decisions based on that. You shouldn't. Believe me, you should not. Most analysts, they say something for a reason. Either they're short the stock or they're long another competitor. Okay? They're not going to speak well about the company that they're not in. Okay? So again, I like NIO. We had, if you take a look at the weekly, okay, as you can see, this is why it's so important to understand support and resistance. If you take a look, these are weekly candles, folks, okay? Look at the week on January 25th. It got to a high of $64.52. And look what happened last week. It got to $64.60 before it failed and came back down again. So when you're in the trade, for example, this was the previous week's high, $59.20, okay? I took it at $59.20. Now realize, once you get in at $59.20, you have to start identifying the next areas of possible resistance, okay? You've got this candle here first, 62.17, and then you've got this candle here at 64.52. Every candle's high is going to be an area of resistance if the price is below the candle's high, okay? So, now, if you take a look at NIO, $59.85, that's what it closed on Friday. It's in between. So, mind you, we've got support at 56.18. We've got resistance at 64.60. If NIO breaks 64.60, the next area is going to be $66.99. Let's just call it 67. Now, is NIO going to break down? I have no idea. It can break 56.18, come down. Well, guess what? If it does, 56.18 now becomes resistance, yes? If it breaks back above 56.18, I'm going to take the trade. Okay? I love taking those back inside trades. That's where I really make my money. All right, last but not least, GILD, GILD Sciences. This is a new one. I haven't traded GILD in, it has to be years. But let me show you what I like about GILD. Okay? We've got an inside week, folks. Okay? I love playing the inside week breaks. Okay? So, I've identified the high of $68.70. That was last week's high. And I've identified the low of $66.05. I also see a monthly high, which was the previous month, right here. This is the previous month's candle. These are monthly candles. The high is 68.38. Okay, so let's go to a daily chart. All right, here you have it. As you can see, GILD's been doing nothing but coming down. Okay, but right now it is consolidating here in an area. So this is what I'm looking for. Okay. I'd like to see GILD go back up. I need it to break first $68.38. If it breaks $68.38, I'm going to take the trade. Okay? Then I'm going to have another little area of resistance at $68.76. Okay? So not much room here. You've got a break of $68.38, which was last month's high. And then you've got the weekly high, previous week's high, $68.76. If it breaks $68.76, the next area of resistance is going to be right there. It's here. Let me show you. You see this candle here? The high, $69.36. That's going to be the next area of resistance. So keep that in mind, okay? Again, there's nothing wrong with if I see an area that we're approaching of resistance, I take a look at a lot of factors. Number one, I want to see how far the stock has run in the day. Has it run more than $1.66, which is its daily ATR? Has it run $3 in one day and approaching areas of resistance? Okay, when a stock runs a lot higher than its daily ATR or weekly ATR, you come up against exhaustion risk, okay? So the chances of it slowing down and pulling back are greater, okay? These are all things, folks, that you have to keep in mind as a trader, okay? It's very important. You're not going to learn it overnight. You're not going to learn it in a week, a month, or even a year, to be honest with you. This takes time, okay? I've got 20 plus years doing this, okay? And it does take time. So again, running down the 7 stocks on the list. The first, C. The second, DAL. Third, Boeing, BA. Fourth, Apple, AAPL. Fifth, BABA, BABA. Sixth is NIO, NIO. And the seventh is GILD Sciences, GILD. Folks, enjoy the rest of the day. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to comment below, or you can always send me an email, hunterchasetrading@gmail.com. Please watch these watch lists. Every Sunday I post usually, and I hope you're taking advantage of them. We've had some absolute tremendous weeks. On some of them that have worked, others that don't work, we just sit on our hands. It's that simple. And if you could, please subscribe to the channel. Helps me put these videos out, and I'm looking forward to growing. Have a good day and safe trading. Cheers, folks.